That's
Vote for
because I
Candy.
was picking up my fucking glass of wine, okay? I've got a huge bottle of white wine that came from Damn Sam's for $8 and it actually had a corkscrew in it, so I'm happy.
And now we have our episode opener. All right, everyone. What's up, bitches? Welcome to the ICBG WoWCast. It is episode 15. This is our 15th episode, guys. Isn't it exciting? We've been around for more than 3 months.
That's like a quarter of something.
Why
Almost.
am I a bitch? I've told you time and time again, I'm a slut.
I could go into a dissertation for all of the reasons that you are a bitch, Candy, but we don't have time for that in a 45-minute podcast. But we are here with some exciting news. There has been a lot of news out of the World of Warcraft today. We've also had a couple of weeks of raiding under our belts, so now we've got some clarification and some opinions to come back to you guys with. So it's going to be a great episode. Let's get started with the introductions. First and foremost, as always, there's me, your host, Rai. I am a holy priest and shadow priest extraordinaire. Let's jump on to the esteemed and not so esteemed in Candy's case panel of guildies that I have with us. First and foremost, we've got the GM of the Ice Cream Bikini Girls. It is Shadow Priest Tryhard. Hi, Try.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Thanks for coming to listen to us.
Next, she's back to being a frost mage. It is the Southern lady, where not only are her mage skills frosty, but we're pretty sure her glass is too. It's Harisha.
Hey, everybody. And if my grass isn't frosty, there's a problem.
What's the drink tonight?
White wine.
White, whoa, classy. From a box?
No, this is from a ginormous 1.5-liter bottle.
Oh, good. All right. And today, to round out our panel, we have got Fury Warrior and General Pain in My Ass, Candy.
Arms Warrior.
Ah,
And
crap.
let me see. Yeah, get that shit straight now. My necklace is 22.
Okay. So
and my
let's
eye
go
level-
ahead.
I'm answering like I'm supposed to, and my eye level is 349.
So Candy's jumped ahead, but let's go ahead, guys, quick, and let's talk about what we've been working on this week in game. There's been a lot of stuff, especially since we didn't have an episode last week. So let's kind of catch everybody up. Candy, you're going to go last since you decided you were going to try to go first. I will go first. My item level, as it currently stands, is 358 with a Heart of Azeroth level at 22. I would have been at 23 this week, but I decided, since Blizzard's doing this catch-up mechanic every single Tuesday, and every single Tuesday I seem to be one level ahead of the catch-up mechanic, I was like, screw this, I'm going to wait till I'm at level, and I am now at level, so this week I can level it up one level and kind of move on. So, but I was tired of being ahead and watching everybody else have an easier time leveling up their neck, so I was like, I'm just going to take a week off.
You don't want to burn out as well, because you did go pretty hard when the expansion dropped as well.
Right, and now everybody's like beating me. So in addition to that, we did go ahead and the Horde has finished their first cycle of Warfronts. In killing all of those rare spawns out in Arathi Highlands, I actually got 3 of the 5 mounts. So that was pretty exciting. I got the Witherbark Direwing, the Swift Albino Raptor, and I got Little Donkey, which I think is a reference to Shrek, but I can't be sure.
Does it have layers of onions? Is it like an onion has layers?
It did not say anything about onions.
And it can't fly, because I tried it, because I got that one too.
So it's a neat little mount. It's not as cool as the Drustvar donkey, but I'll take it. It is actually a tiny donkey, though. It's like half the size of my horse.
That's right.
I did go a little bit ahead of the guild progression on raid. Currently, the Ice Cream Bikini Girls are at a 7 and 8 in normal on our raid progression, so it's really fun. We've been having a great time with that. I did a couple extra raids on the side as a pug, and I am an 8-8 normal and a 3-8 heroic progression for my personal character. That's for Rai Baby, the Holy Priest.
Oh, that's dude.
And I also did a +9 mother load.
Already this week?
With last week. It was a lot of fun. And by a lot of fun, it sucked terribly, but I was with a good group.
What key did you get?
I got a +2 after that week too, which is the weirdest part. So that was my week. Let's go ahead and jump to Try. Try, what have you been working on? There's been a lot of stuff.
Yes, there has been a lot of stuff, and I'd just like to take this moment to thank Rai for being our host and organising everything and stealing Molly's computer and keeping us all going. So my item level currently, I'm catching up to everyone else, is 351. My neck got to 20 and then just clicked over to 21 recently. I finally have all my gear at Epic, with the trinket being the last thing to get upgraded, which I got from Alafar at the end of last week. But it's Epic now, so that's good. My alchemy is at 135, cooking at 8, because I've just been getting those level 3 recipes still. I got my fishing up to 84 and did mail Rai some salmon after mailing more later. But the most exciting thing was I got archaeology up to 950, so that's really exciting. On another tune, I got my healer monk up to 114, and she's my herbalist and inscription. I did get a few achievements and pets, toys, and mounts. So I got a Bad Mojo Banana, which is a toy, which was from the Island Expeditions, I think, and it makes you look bony. I got a pet, which is an elemental rare, the Shard of Froznu, which is crushed for one of its abilities. I finally got everyone up to revered rep-wise, so I now have part 1 of flying. Not that we can fly yet, but we've definitely got that started. So that's always exciting. I did get a 370 head, which was awesome because my gear is very, very, very low, which is a good thing. I got ready for war, but I did get, because I'm still going back to old school Legion and getting those mounts, I had to get the Suruma one and the Dreamweavers one. So I got the carpet. Yeah!
Oh, congrats.
Oh
So
my
that's
God.
one less one I have to do.
No, you should have heard it when she got that carpet. Candy and I thought somebody was breaking in the house to kill her the way she was screaming.
And it was muffled. I was really controlled because I was going reverse order. Normally I go like from the top, my priest, my mage, my hunter, but I was going reverse order. So the third tune running through got it, my chamois. So congrats to my little chamois. This is why you have alts, because they can do all this extra stuff for you as well. During the raid, Horisha was very kind and donated the feet that she didn't need to me, and they were 355. So that upgraded my feet, slowly pushing me up, which was fantastic. I also got a Nightborn Mana Saber mount, which was cool during the week. I got a Squawkling Pet, which is a rare flying one, with Alpha Strike as its first ability for those listeners who are into pet battles. I got Little Donkey, which is the mount we were just talking about before. It's grey and it doesn't fly, but it looks pretty cool. Another pet I got was the Eldarin Sproutling, level 1 rare. It's an elemental one, and its first ability is Scratch. I got Teeny Tiny Orb, rare level 1, and it's a magic one. And I got the Kovok costume, which is a toy, which kind of makes you look like you're very muscly. And I'm in shadow form, so it looks even weird. And I got an achievement I don't think many people in the guild have, which is Exotic Discovery Achievement, which means you just found 12 exotic things in the current expansion. And that's pretty much most of my list for this week.
That was a lot of stuff. Wow, Try, you've been
I
busy.
know. I'm like, it all sort of happened at once. Like the whole time, nothing was happening. Like I got a few things and then bang, all at once, stuff happened. It was awesome.
Wow, well, good job. All right, Harisha, how about you?
Damn, I feel inadequate as hell now.
Right?
Don't worry, next week you'll beat me by heaps. It's all good.
What did I do? Item levels up to 346, and the thing that's holding me back is these ugly ass 330 trinkets.
Trinkets.
Those are still my only blues too. But I did get a dagger drop last night from a mythic, and it wasn't from a mythic. It was from one of my chests that I turned in, a 375 dagger with intellect, stamina, crit, and haste on it.
Jesus Christ.
And it's Tusk of the Reborn Prophet.
Ooh.
She got a 375 crit haste dagger, Candy. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I hate her.
Yeah,
Yep.
by the way, I got that. The weekly from doing the world boss, I got the 370 feet with haste and mastery on it. No pets. Slowly going back to full with that. Still chasing after my one from Stonecore and from Zilgrub. Downloaded this wonderfully horrible program called Scata, whatever your pronunciation is, tomato. I don't like it, but I'm figuring it out.
Why don't you like it?
Because I don't know how to use it yet. I know how to reset it, and that's about it so far.
I normally have mine set to current DPS and current.
And that's
fight.
what I do. I've got mine set to DPS, and you have to make it bigger to see where I'm at on the board when there's lots of people in the room. But so I've noticed that I do better on multi-target versus single target. So I'm trying to play with getting that a little bit figured out because it's kind of nice when you out DPS some of the higher DPS for a few targets here and there, and then that's all you got. But yeah. Really, I'm just working on my world quest, trying to get my rep up. I've got a few rares that I need to go back out and farm out with the weekly, but my DBM works, not my DBM, my rare finder works, but the achievement for an eventful battle, which is supposed to give you credit when you have actually completed random events. I don't know if that's different from actually the mobs. But it's not tracking. I don't know if it's supposed to because it's got a lot of the mobs like Skull Ripper, Plague Feather, but they're not being checked off my list. So I've got to look into that a little further.
Well, let us know next week if you find anything. Maybe submit a ticket if you still can't figure it out.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, and last and certainly least, Candy.
Let me see. I did the War Fronts like everybody else's.
Wait, Candy, what's your item level and neck?
And your Heart of Azeroth level.
Oh, I completely forgot. Do I have? Oh, my item level is 249 or 349. Sorry, and my Heart of Azeroth is 22. That's like running my head into the wall because for some reason Blizzard seems to think that arms warriors need to have nothing but PvP gear. So I'm getting all this versatility and mastery shit that I'm not happy with. That being said, I went and did the War Fronts. I got the little pet called Fosling, which is off of Fossil, who used to be for the old vanilla players. Fossil was like the most hated mob in Arathi Highlands.
He was an
You
ass.
would run into him. Yeah, you would run into him. You really couldn't kill him. He would smush you really quick. So now he's a rare spawn in Arathi Highlands again, but you kill him and you get a little baby toy that looks just like him and basically does the same moves. It's suitable. More importantly, though, I got Skull Ripper mount, which generally I prefer the Headless Horseman's mount because it's itty bitty and it flies. And if anybody who's ever listened to me knows, if it doesn't fly, I generally don't care for it. The problem is Skull Ripper is like this bright blood red photoluminescent color, which matches, my slut mog's hair and her eyes. So basically, it's a little red dress that you can ride around on. It's very fancy. If it could fly, it would be the greatest thing ever in the history of the universe, but it can't fly. So therefore, it's a notch down. And then other than that, I've been doing the race to try to keep up my Heart of Azeroth. It's a losing race, and I'm in the same boat with Riot. It's like, okay, I got it this high, but if you log in, if you created a character this week, you can catch up to me. So what's the friggin' point of breaking my balls to try to get not just get ahead in the game, but make sure I'm keeping my performance up when you can log in tomorrow morning and you will catch me in a day.
I haven't been able to catch y'all at all. I'm still sitting at 19.
That's because you're a lazy slacker.
Yeah, you're probably not doing all the shit that you're supposed to be doing to get up there. But whereas you look at, I'm just gonna gripe because it's my craw is still in my craw. Harisha's 375 dagger. I had to struggle my ass through a +9 mother load to get a 375 dagger. And Harisha logs in, and goes whoop de doo, gonna do a box, and gets the same exact fucking thing that I did.
Remember, the WoW gods make no sense.
The WoW gods are horrible. Continue.
Pretty sure it was a
I'm
bot.
sorry.
So anywho, I'm happy to ride around on my little red dress. It's very fancy. I'm not so impressed anymore with keeping ahead of the Joneses. Fuck the Joneses. I'll do this stuff in my time and I'll keep myself raid ready, but that's about it. I'm not gonna push to get ahead of anybody. I'm not gonna push. My DPS is fine. Actually stellar at times. I'm doing pretty well. So it's like, what's the point? Why am I gonna worry about getting, keeping up with the Joneses when I'm doing well and everybody can catch up to me, just daydreaming get it done. Screw that noise. I'm not going to play with the catch up mechanics. And I did actually have a lot of fun in Arathi Highlands, though. I chased down pretty much every single freaking rare I could find. Killed them all. Got a few toys. Got the little red dress. I'm happy. And that was my week.
You're never happy, Candy. You're saying this now, and then later on you'll be like, I had a bit of a break for a day, but now I'm going to go hardcore and get blah, 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 all this stuff.
No, the happiest thing, the thing that makes me the happiest is slut mogs and slut mog related stuff. And I got a right around little red dress, and I'm happy with my little skull ripper. It's very fancy. Makes me laugh.
I also just heard, for the record, Lucy joining us. Hi, Lucy.
Good answer. Hey, what's up?
Lucy is mobile right now, so we will not count on him to be here.
I'm at IRL right now, guys. So we're sitting at a 76 gas station, getting some shitty barbecue, I assume, coming from the Four States Fair here in Texarkana, Texas. For any listeners out there that's from here, I doubt it, but
All 5 of them.
Don't get food poisoning.
I'm gonna die today.
Lucy, and that's how he died. Gas station barbecue.
How was the country music?
I was trying to get a hold of you, you asshole. I was looking in.
Which one?
He's a bitch, not an asshole. Get it right.
I was looking in Discord. I was looking at Discord for you, and I was like, damn, where's Candy at? Because as soon as we walked in, man, they had a band up there, and it was rock music. So I was like, yeah, he was wrong. But then immediately after that guy got off, country music for the next 3 hours.
What'd I tell you, Rye?
I knew you'd be right. Listen, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure out country music's going to be playing at a state fair in Texas.
And I also told Ryan since he came on that it was going to be country music and they might have a rock band thrown in there too.
Well, you called it.
Anywho, Lucy, good to have you with us. Anything, if you had to pick one special thing you did this week, what did you do that was cool?
Oh, man. There's so much shit that's been going on in game, guys.
That's why I'm limiting you to one.
You can talk more about your one next episode.
Limit me to one. Me actually making raid. That's
being on time to raid the one time I think you were.
Yeah, that's special for me. So.
And then Rai dying and missing the last hour of the last day of raid.
Yeah, so we kind of flip-flop spaces there. I was late.
I can't control my internet provider.
Yeah, and we know it's not your fault. We're just like giggling at it.
So I missed a few bosses one week, and then you missed the last boss this week. So it was pretty nice. But yeah, that was my special time of the week. Just like Candy over there, not getting jack diddly shit, but
Yeah, so hold that thought because we will get back to the disparity in gear later in this episode. Let's go over some current events happening this week in WoW. First and foremost, the Harvest Festival did begin today. Really, that means nothing other than there's a feast outside Orgrimmar and Ironforge to commemorate the death of all the heroes of Azeroth. Blah 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 blah. The big cool thing about the Harvest Festival is they did redo Uther the Lightbringer's tomb out in the Plaguelands. So go take a look at that if you have any interest.
If you're a paladin.
If you're a paladin and you give you're basically the one paladin in the game who still gives a shit about lore, Lucy.
No, you have to be ally. You have to be allied to pay respects to Uther the Lightbringer. That's what it said. Horde pays tribute to Gromosh and stuff like that because he's the one that sacrificed himself for the orcs and the Horde. So. Which I don't care about spoilers anymore, guys. It's fucking current content. Gromosh sacrificed himself not once, but twice. Play the Maghar scenario.
Oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, I did that too. I unlocked the Maghar this week.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that was fun. All right,
I got a nifty little thing. I got a nifty little lore thing about that too. If you give me a chance at the end.
Okay, well we'll see. We have lots of things to talk about. So, with the privilege of being here for when we create the agenda. All right. So next, the Brewfest starts this week as well. So for all of you achievement hunters out there, this will be the 3 weeks of the year you can get your Brewfest achievements. Get ready to start your engines on that. Mythic Raid has been out for a week now. It does look like we are at the home stretch with who will get world first. There are several guilds still currently working on Mythic Gahoon, if I remember.
Yeah, they're. I think the top 5 right now are 7 of 8, and I could be wrong on that, guys. You have to check on that specifically right now. But I think Limit is still in first. Method is close behind them. But I was watching Sko, who's the guildmaster of Method, and they're streaming it live on Twitch. And man, I don't know if they downed it today. That might happen tonight sometime or maybe tomorrow. But they were getting to like 4% before wiping, so it's getting really close.
Yeah, last I saw today, a couple hours ago, Limit still had them.
Yeah, it's getting really close. I think they're all hitting the same part, but they're hitting like a ceiling on when they get to that part of the fight where it just the amount of raid damage going out is just too much. So
It's the ceiling starts caving in on the last phase of that fight. It's bitch. Yeah, it's not fun. All right. So other than that, today, now just Lucy, you missed this part. We're gonna cover a very like high level glance at what was discussed today in the Q&A, but we're not going to go too far in depth to it. And the reason being is that's not expected to be out till the end of November, early December.
yeah, that I assume so, but man, I'm really hyped for it.
So yeah, they did announce that there will be other war fronts coming out. The first will be Dark Shore. Some coders have also discovered in the game there's a script that you can put in that will actually give different outputs in text. And one is the Battle for Silvermoon has commenced. There's another, the Gates of Mulgore, Southern Barrens. So there's going to be, and Ajara. So there's going to be a couple other war fronts coming out. The one that has been for sure announced is Darkshore. We believe the others are all coming. I'm most excited for Silvermoon. They also did announce that Heritage Armor is going to be released for Blood Elves and Dwarfs.
Yeah.
The only requirement on that is going to be you have a max level character. So that'll be cool for a lot of people who've been playing those races for a long time.
Well, it better be a slut mog for Blood Elves.
They're gonna have your damn slut mod, Candy, but shit. I mean, it's just kind of for those transmog people out there. But I mean, people knew it was coming. They complained about it enough because, what is it? The Nightborn and all that. They get their own special thing for getting 120. So you knew it was gonna happen.
And last but not least, the big news is they announced the next 2 raids. One will be a mini raid that comes after the next big raid. It's provisionally being called the Siege of Zandalar.
That's the big one.
That's the big one.
The big one. And the small one, Harisha?
The small one is shit.
She was so excited to say this, and now she doesn't even know.
Excited. Let me find it. Hang on. Crucible of Storms.
And that's going to be a little bit more about the story behind what's going on in Stormsong Valley.
It's very similar to the Trial of Valor.
Yep.
Yeah, you said it's going to be like similar to the Trial of Valor raid. It's kind of just like a filler thing after Zuldazar siege. But what did he say? He said for the Alliance, they kind of know what's already going on in Stormsong, so they're going to like jump right into that raid, but with some small introductory quest, I think, to it. But as far as the Horde, they're going to kind of put in like a little quest line that leads us to it or tells us why we're even going to go over there, because we don't know what's going on over there. We just know what's happening in Zandalar. So
No, that makes sense.
It also says there's going to be some new character storylines with Sarfang, Tyrand, and Vol'jin.
Tyranda?
Whatever, tomato.
No, Tyrand is not a name.
Is this like Sylvanus?
It is.
I think there's going to be new storylines with that. That's further down the line. Now, the Vol'jin thing, that's obviously coming. It's part of an achievement. Right, we've already gotten the first part for getting revered with Zandalar Empire. Now, the next part, they never released that on beta at all. So they've had all this time to release that when they're ready for it. So that's coming whenever they decide to do it, and it'll probably just kind of wrap up the story of him, because there's a lot of cliffhangers with that quest if you've done it.
Well, the moral of the story here, kids, is once again it's going to be a Horde city that's getting raided for an actual Blizzard raid.
Yes, but the thing is, it's a dual perspective raid, which I am excited for.
Lucy, if you want to be technical about it, there was a dual perspective in Siege of Orgrimmar as well. after the Shah of what is it, the Shah of Pride, you split off and do your own little faction bossy thing.
I mean,
Nope, you're not going to
Not-
convince me of this. It just my opinion is my opinion. But once again, the Horde is the bad guy because we have to have a raid come and bail us out.
well, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. But
Oh, shots fired.
They all
but
stink.
Jaina, the big story is Jaina is going to be one of our bosses on the Horde side,
And I would
So
like to
that's
say
gonna
that I
happen.
called that.
and that's fine. I'll give you that. But that's going to happen, and I'm going to say that I called this. It's going to be a fight on the fucking water. That's what I want. On a ship in the water. Let's do it. Let's go pirate style. Let's do this shit. Now the thing is, he said it was going to be 9 bosses for the raid, 6 bosses per faction, and then 3 extra bosses. Whenever you complete the actual siege, there will be an NPC or something like that you talk to that will kind of change your faction and give you the perspective of the other side, and you'll fight 3 bosses that you didn't originally get. So if you're Horde, you would get to fight 3 more bosses that the allies fought, and then vice versa for the other side.
Well, the problem I have with that is we don't actually get to kill Jaina. We just shoo her off, show her son Derek, and shoo her off.
Well, and that's the thing is that he didn't say anything about that, but I'm pretty sure they're not gonna make us kill her. She'll probably just limp away.
And the thing is that our middle boss will be their end boss.
Yeah. The same thing for them though. Their end boss is going to be King Rastakhan, and they're probably not going to kill him. They're probably just going to wound him or something like that, and it'll lead into something else. What Ian was saying is that on the Horde side though, we're not going to even get there until after the allies have already pushed all the way through into King Rastakhan, because he said we start in the forest and we come through and go past the throne and go all the way to the docks and then out onto the sea to fight Jaina. So and there's a lot of cool story going on there. That's what I like, and it's a real dual perspective. Like, they get different bosses, and so do we. Not we're fighting the same boss for the same cause, and with maybe a little differentiation, like Siege of Orgrimmar, like you said.
Well, we got some time too, so I imagine that details will change and we'll learn more in the coming months. Not that I want to cut anybody off on this, guys, but we don't want to spend too much time talking about this just since it's so far off. We got some current content we want to cover. So thanks everybody for the opinions. Let's jump though. Let's jump into our first discussion. Candy, this is one that I know was close to your heart, so I'm going to ask you to kick us off. The Arathi rares. You've been out doing some farming in the Arathi Highlands like the rest of us. You had some opinions. I figured maybe there was a Candy's Corner in all of this.
Well, my children. Basically, Arathi rares is kind of, it's fun, but it's annoying also. It's like an hour little, for a week-long event, right? It's 6 days. You can finish it all in an hour, which is like, what's the point? I go in there, I kill all the rares, kill the big siege engine, and I'm done. It's like, why make that 6 friggin' days? Just make that a couple days, and you're done with it. I get there's other people that don't have the same schedule I do, and they can't all do it at the same time, but still, it's an hour's worth of flying around Arathi Basin. Kill some rares. The only thing that's really good about it is the Skull Ripper mount, my little red dress. I wish I could name my mounts. And then
Oh, Jesus Christ, you guys.
Imagine the names they'd have.
a little red dress that you can ride.
Candy would just have a mount that would would be called Cocksucker. I could see he would be like the one that would have some type of, if there was a way for him to be riding on a girl's shoulders, he'd be doing that in this game.
I would be all over that. Give me a Slubmog blood elf that I could ride on. I'd be there.
Oh my god!
And then yeah, it's funny. And then let's see. Once again, this is my personal gripe against frigging world bosses, is the loot off of them is just so rare. You're in a full group of 40 people and you see 3 pieces of loot drop. Not counting, I guess that may even be counting friggin' the rolls, right? So I'm not really reading up there. I just see the loot drops go, flash across my screen as it dies and everybody leaves the group. And it's like 3 pieces of loot out of 40 people. What the fuck's the point of doing that? You're just and you're done, right? 6 days and you're done. Unless you want to go back and waste another bonus roll on the world boss, you're basically done in a couple hours. I mean,
It's not even 6 days, Kenny. You can't loot that thing again until the Horde wins another cycle of Warfront.
Well, you can't loot it, but you can go and you can do it twice. You can do the first time where you get the loot, and then you can take another bonus roll and go kill it again.
Well, that's
But them
stupid. 'Cause you
bonus
only get 2
rolls
bonus
are
rolls a
freaking
week.
expensive.
They are. Well, they're expensive and they're rare, right? You only get 2 bonus rolls per week, and
And that's bullshit.
But like I said, I mean, it's you can do it all in an hour ish. I mean, I've taken two characters through it, and it's no point in going back. I'm done now.
So I will say my experience was the same. I definitely see your point, Candy, and I think I agree with you on that. I think that brings us to the overall issue of time gating, which we're going to discuss next. But when I went out there, I mean, it was like I hate to say loot pinata because that seems to be like the in vogue phrase right now, but that's what it was for me. I got 3 mounts. I got 365 boots off of one of the rare spawns out there, not the world boss, but a rare, like a 121 rare spawn. I got a couple of pets that I sold for quite a bit. I got some toys. I mean, so I got a ton of shit all for like an hour and 15 minutes worth. So I think it's just kind of based on perspective. I do agree. I think the loot drops on the world bosses have been disappointingly small. I noticed in my 40-person group, there were only 3 or 4 pieces that dropped as well.
I got 23 gold.
I constantly get gold. I personally have gotten gold from every world boss so far, and when I bonus roll, I've gotten 500 AP.
I mean, I can get better gold off of Pandaland stuff.
Yeah, you get better gold off of if they drop the stupid rare grays that drop off of the mobs out here, the rare grays that give you a silly little buff, and then you can sell it for 16 gold. It's like, what are you giving me 23 gold off?
I mean, give me some war resources. Give me something else. Just, give me some fucking Vaseline. That'd be awesome.
Girls
wow.
and their Vaseline. Why don't you just ask for KY?
So I want to bring this back. So let's just go over, because there was some clarification this week. There have been 2 pieces of clarification this week. One of which was that they waited until the first Mythic Plus boxes dropped to clarify that they'll only drop 1 piece of loot. So after the beta, they allowed everybody to get 1 to 3 pieces of loot in every Mythic Plus chest. They decided at the last minute they didn't like that system and went back to 1 piece of loot without telling anybody. So for months now have been letting us think it's going to be 3 pieces of loot max out of those boxes, those dicks. But
that's kind of what Blizzard does.
Right? That was one thing. But the other announcement was that they really wanted to clarify the timing of how Warfronts worked. So when it's your faction is defending, you'd have access like we do now, where you can kill the world boss, you can kill the rares, but you can only do it once per defending cycle, and that lasts 11 to 13 days. Then your faction has the contribute phase, where you have all those different world quests or the daily quests to turn in those supplies. And that is supposed to last, it's designed to last 4 to 6 days for each. Yes.
Have we determined yet that those things are going to be the same repeatable ones every time it comes around? Or are they
not going to be the same items? The theory is will be to change what you have to turn in.
Okay.
So that way people don't stockpile one particular
That was
type
what
of
I was wondering.
Well,
that will all be up to me for potions or whatever they want you to do.
Well, that was in beta. Who knows? I mean, it may come out and at the last minute say, no, you're just going to keep turning the same shit over and over and over.
So then after that, you have the 7 days of attacking. And then once you win those 7 days of attacking, it goes back to the 11 to 13 days of defending.
And I did discover that achievement that I was looking at can only be done when you're doing the scenario mode. So you have to kill the rares during scenario, not
during
when
an
it's
attack.
Free fall.
And those don't pop up as often as you would like. So I did like 7 or 8 of those, and I only saw rares twice.
Yeah.
So anyway, That brings us back, though, to the issue that a lot of players have had, and all of our topics tonight are going to kind of intertwine into each other, guys. So forgive us if it's a little confusing to follow on some levels, but the topic of time gating came up a ton on the Reddit with the game director. So he did a Reddit Q&A where people would ask their questions and he would like answer in detail. And one of the big questions was, why is Blizzard doubling down on so much time gating? They're used to having some daily quests and some weekly quests and things like that. But it feels like with the way everything's working in Blizzard right now, literally everything is time gated. And the particular question that was asked was, is it just that Blizzard doesn't trust that the players are going to keep subscribing if they don't hold us back from completing content? Or is it that you guys are purposely trying to slow out how much content you're putting out, so you time gate everything so you have to develop less content? And the answer really wasn't a great one. It was, well, we've always done it this way, and we time gate because not everybody's on the same schedule, and so we make it more attainable for people to keep up with other players in the game. So basically we're catering to the casuals on that. And I will say, like, Legion felt pretty time gated with a lot of stuff, but literally everything in BFA so far has had a time gate on it, and that really has been annoying to me. Is anyone else feeling that way right now?
Well, I am, but I see it a little bit differently because he's right. Blizzard has time gated everything, but they've given you stuff to do. Like I said, what's the point of the war front and going and, when you're, what are we defending right now? So we can go in there and kill all the rares and shit. If things aren't responding or there isn't something to do when they're beyond, okay, I killed all the rares in the world boss, now I'm done. Why aren't there world quests in there? Why isn't there something like a few more daily quests to do things for maybe, who knows, AP, war resources, whatnot?
Do you think they might add that later, though, that is getting you used to it, then they'll add more layers?
Well, they might add more layers after the players piss and whine about it enough. Because it's a waste of time. I mean, it seems like
they're gonna obviously, like they did the last, where it's really slow. You can feel the time, and then you can feel that you're
Lucy,
behind.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're losing you.
Domo already got Dome, Mr. Roboto.
Domo.
Anyways, you can feel that you're falling behind, but the thing is, they're gonna put in catch-up mechanics, and everybody's gonna get pissed. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right. We're already pissed. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's kind of not very good incentive for those that play a lot. Like, yeah, they just have to start leveling other tunes so that they can enjoy the easy mechanics or work on professions more or something for the full-timers.
And the professions are still horrible to try and level. I mean, my gold that I had stored up, there's no way in hell I'm going to get anything good.
Well, storing up 10 gold isn't going to help you much anyway.
Oh my God, it was 100 gold. Get it right.
Risha, you need to save gold to buy that Sparta mount and the mount that I bought with the auction house. Then you'll be set.
I can't even get over damn 100K again. I never got over 250, much less 5 million and
she
2
keeps
million.
buying gear out of the auction house.
I haven't
buying stuff.
So
I bought shit.
That has been but going back to the topic, that has been a really big complaint, is people felt like there wasn't anything to do, and they've even accused the game of trying to artificially extend subscriber time by keep trying to keep people coming back for time gated content, whereas in fact it's having the opposite effect. It's actually driving more hardcore players away because they're too bored. They're bored too quickly. And like, for example, once their week is done with their conquest points for PvP, I'm not going to go charge in and do a bunch of random battlegrounds anymore because I'm done. My reward is done. I'm not getting any added reward from doing it, so why do it?
Yeah, so people are jumping on at the start of the week, getting all their chores done in like 2 days, and then they're off doing other things.
I'll even say this, guys, just calling our own guild, and we're usually a very, very, very active guild. It's been a pretty slow week for us, especially on the weekends. During the day on weekends, we've had like a record low number of people on for the start of an expansion, I would say. I mean, so it's not just us, it's other guilds too that are like hardcore recruiting for their raids. I mean, it seems like a lot of groups are having trouble keeping players consistently online because they're bored. I'm bored. I'll be the first to say it. I'm bored as hell. There's nothing to do. half
You
the
haven't
time.
been on like you normally are.
I have been on though, Harisha. I've been on early on in the week, but by the weekend I've got nothing else to do.
Well, like yesterday, I never saw you on yesterday.
Well, yesterday was Monday. It was the end of the week. There was nothing to do.
See what I'm saying? I mean, you're getting to where you're not on like you normally were.
Yeah, you're still doing
Point
stuff
taken.
all week, sort of thing.
And you guys make fun of me for being a lore guy.
See,
Well, I
this
get
just
his
gives you
point.
more time to read books.
Yeah. But I mean, I get this. I'm the same way, right? Do your island expeditions. Go do your whatever Warfront stuff you want to knock out.
Pluses.
Yeah, do your mythic pluses and
You do LFR now, guys. That's super exciting.
woohoo! Yeah, you get one friggin' rune for doing 3 bosses in LFR.
Well, is the second wing open? So we'll have 6 boxes to do.
And we'll get 2 runes now. Woohoo! I get more than that just doing a friggin' the daily random on a as a tank.
Well, it comes back to this whole Blizzard is definitely catering more to a casual environment in the game. But like Candy and I, I think we're the 2 in here of the 5 of us that have done this the most. We since day 1 of this game have been like hard fucking core about gearing. We've gone hard at like getting gear and being ready and pushing into groups for dungeons and getting through mythics early and starting on keys. And like now we're all within like 7 item levels of all these other people who've been getting the 370 gear that's been raining down on them like hail from the sky.
But not on me.
But not on us. So it's frustrating that now I've got to wait to get the same item level of these people who just kind of casually. It's not, and goes beyond Blizzard and RNG. It goes into they've actively made it easier for players to do no work for the same gear level reward for someone that busts their ass to get it, and it's kind of disheartening. I mean, it's just there's no incentive to do the content early in the week anymore. Like Candy was saying with the Heart of Azeroth, my philosophy with it was it too. I was a week ahead. I was doing 30% more to get to the next level when people the week after were doing 30% less work to get to where I was. So I was like, I'm done. I'm just not going to work at it anymore. So it just kind of feels like with the time gating. I hate that this is the downer episode, guys. I'm sorry, but it just kind of it feels like we're in that in between period where Blizzard's kind of taking a step back and going, oh shit. And now they're going to start tuning stuff back. And I think that's why the information was released today, because they're getting a lot of complaints about how bored people are.
Yeah. But, I mean, we kind of knew it was coming with the first raid. This is the time that they're going to start tuning everything. This is the time they're going to start nitpicking, like, every little piece of it. Even with, like, we're talking about shamans, like, all the time. How they're shit and everything. They're going to start tuning that stuff so people will stop crying about it. Bless you.
And they have announced officially that with the 8.1 patch, which will come when, they have announced what changes they'll be making to Elemental Shaman. They have not announced Enhancement or Resto yet, or Shadow Priest. All 4 of which they have committed to retunes for the next big patch.
But yeah, this is the big tuning time. There are going to be a lot of people. This is usually the time in the X-Pack when people leave. You ever notice that? The beginning in the first raid, people either stay hardcore, finish that raid, and then quit, or they just kind of peter off and they're just gone. They don't come back until the last raid of the X-Pack. That's what happens. So, the Siege of Zuldazar is going to be awesome, and the filler raid, the Crucible of the Storms or whatever, that's going to be awesome. But the thing is, a lot of people are not going to experience it. They're just going to be like, you know what, I'm going to skip it. I'll come back the last raid because there's going to be catch-up mechanics, and I can get right back into it. That's the way the game is now.
Yeah, we'll see. Some other questions that were asked during the Q&A session of note was, what's going on with all of the bugs in game that was called out. I can personally tell you we've discussed some of these bugs that we're still seeing in live that were happening back when Candy and Lucy were doing beta. So that's kind of disappointing. And their answer was, we've got a lot of different people answering these tickets, but we get 100,000 tickets and have like 100 people going through them. My answer to that is get more people. But secondarily, it was, when someone puts such and such isn't spawning, we don't have any steps to recreate. So, we might send a ticket investigator out to go do that scenario, and they might have to do it 50 times before they realize they can't recreate it, but mark that ticket as can't recreate. When really, if the person who created the ticket gave us the steps to get the error to show up, we might be able to fix errors. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of shit. Don't put it on the game person. Just don't write that. It's bad management to have somebody go out and spend 2 hours trying to recreate a 1-sentence ticket. That's one
Well,
thing.
the other thing too is that they can make their characters gods. So what difference does it make? As long as you just bust through, it should take them 5 minutes to get it done.
So you're saying there should be a priority, like 1,000 people have complained in 20 minutes in regards to one thing. Get on that first and have the lesser bugs out in the middle of nowhere sort of down the track.
Well, that's what they've been doing. But the problem that they've always had is the people on beta are reporting bugs in certain types of content, but they're not nitpicking other types of content. So the people who go through and do like the little tiny things, like this particular world quest, a rock disappears when I walk up to it, that type of stuff, the stuff that really makes the game look bugged when you're paying attention, that shit's not getting fixed because people weren't reporting that stuff in beta. So it's like a lot of the complaints have been cosmetic, actually. And it's stuff like, well, if we didn't know, we couldn't fix it. And I definitely get their answer there, but it's stuff where, like, if they had anybody testing this stuff, the casual observer would be able to see that the rendering was broken on a rock. So
Well, and that takes me to the other point. It's like, and it's true of any MMO or pretty much any game, any computer or whatever kind of game you do, is that you're perpetually beta testing it. They don't have enough testers. I don't care if they're hiring 100 people or 100,000. They don't have enough testers, and when they do have them, they can't do shit about it anyway. So it's like, what's the point? I mean, you're basically, when you're paying a subscription to play World of Warcraft, you're paying to continue their beta testing, and that's bad news. But that's the way software runs. Like I said, Microsoft is an intentional friggin' virus, and when you make a game that plays primarily on Microsoft, you're going to have problems with it for all sorts of fucking reasons. And some of that shit is just badass testing. Get your people out there, go test stuff. Don't immediately think somebody's lying to you. They used to have a thing like in vanilla, they came out and said they were going to believe what you said. If you said that you looted item X, they were going to reimburse you that item X. They were going to investigate. And then, if you were lying to them, they were going to boot you. And that was probably the best thing they did, right? It was like, because a lot of times, 99.99% of the times, people weren't lying. It's like, I looted this thing and it vanished. Oh, he's telling me the truth. But they've gone the other way around. And it's like, every time we say something, they think we're lying to them. So
there are always people out there that are lying. But yeah, sort of when it gets to making the assumption that everyone's lying about everything all the time.
Well, it just takes a few bad apples to fuck it up for the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
No, to me, my answer to that shit is, and Blizzard is terrible at this, you got bad apples, get rid of them. You got somebody exploiting mechanics, to me, the minimum thing when they find somebody exploiting shit is to basically remove every piece of equipment they have, take all the money out of the fucking bank, and that would be the minimum sentence, right? And then suspend them for like fucking 3 months.
Oh, yeah. You remember that bug with the Mythic Plus chest? They took that gear, they ripped it away from people. So
yeah, but they should have ripped every bit of gear. Those people knew they were exploiting. It's like the one, exploiting a mining node. You find a mining node that's fucked up. It's like, oh, I can mine this thing, continuously. Okay, report it and then don't go back.
Well, what about the ones, there was something in BFA where people could get stuck between the phases and run through, kill bosses, and be in war mode and not get attacked by the opposite faction, and people were exploiting that. And I knew one or two of those people, and they didn't get in trouble for it.
Yeah, and it's like that's getting free loot that fucks with the economy. I mean, that screws with progression. And when you find people like that is allowing that shit to make the game harder and less fun for your average player. The people that are paying subscriptions to play the game. And it's total bullshit. People do that. Their first warning should be, okay, all your loot, all your money, your bank's empty, your gear is empty, you got no more bags. You're starting from scratch. And you can do that 3 months from now. That should be the minimum sentence, right? I mean, I get somebody running across like that mining node and mining from it a couple times and moving on. It's like, okay, tell them don't do that again. But if somebody's sitting there exploiting it, and a lot of these people will exploit shit like that for days or weeks on end, won't report it. Why is Blizzard dealing with them? Get rid of that shit. And ban is just that. You're banned. You're done with World of Warcraft. Go find some other game to play.
They're ruining my gaming experience.
I know.
Well, so that was just one of the questions asked, and we're starting to run low on time, guys. So I just want to press through this real quick. Another big question that was asked, and there was a lot of discussion on it on the Reddit Q&A, was what was happening with Paragon reputations. They've announced those are officially coming back in a future patch. They are going to work on making some of the rep grinding a little bit less grindy on alts. So, Candy, you're getting punished for doing your DK. There are going to be massive changes to the Azerite gear system. They're going to be retiring some traits and bringing in new traits to replace them because they don't like how the current system is working.
Some of those traits need to go.
Yep, and that's what Blizzard thinks too.
That crap where you get this up to 20 and then you slowly tick it down, that's crap.
Yeah, that's what they've talked about on traits. But you know what I see happening is, like, right now, if you're a semi-comatose arms warrior, you're going to stack Lord of War, and then you're going to give yourself 2 stacks of let me look that up.
Silent.
2 stacks of Seismic Wave, and they're gonna remove that shit, and they're gonna give us some trait that isn't anywhere close to that functionality, that capability. That's bullshit. I mean, remove the bad traits. I mean, take a look at the bottom of the list that's not doing any benefit to anybody, but quit destroying traits that people use. I mean, I feel in no way are arms warriors overpowered, and they weren't when they nerfed Seismic Wave. It was a bullshit lie. I mean, when other classes were out DPSing us, but they're going to nerf an arms warrior, a very important trait for an arms warrior that still is. They're going to nerf that by 60%, but they're not going to nerf paladins. What's your answer to that? Or they're going to nerf rogues 5, 6, 7 times now when they're supposed to be the top DPS in the game. How do they reconcile that shit? And they let some other class like paladins stand at the top. It's just, how do they reconcile that shit?
Hey,
They could nerf me.
All right.
Well, it's the paladin that you don't play.
So finally, the shaman community blasted the shit out of them on the Reddit Q&A. I won't even go into all the questions there, but they were just all over his ass. There were others that asked, they specifically asked, the question was, why are classes pushed forward by Blizzard when they're so clearly unfinished? And his answer was, I'm not sure that a class is ever completely finished. There will always be retuning and reworking that need to be done on classes. It was the diplomatic answer. Finally, the big news that came out of that Q&A is that the Hydra Core is being made available to players randomly on the last boss of a heroic.
Really?
Yep. So Hydra Core will be available potentially. It's not a guaranteed drop like it is on a Mythic, but it has the chance to drop on the last boss of a heroic.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of neat.
Harisha doesn't seem impressed. What's going on, Harisha?
Well, so basically, I have to suffer doing shit while they make it easy for everyone else to do it.
Don't even. I've been bitching about this shit for weeks now.
I'm catching up with you, bitch.
With your 375 crit haste dagger.
You know
your
what?
375 crit haste dagger, suck a dick. that
really?
Shut her up.
Really? You do not want me to go there, okay?
Anywho, the other big thing that people brought up was Sanguicell. I can tell you that I'm now on to crafting 385 gear with Sanguicell, and it requires 250, which at 10 Sanguicell drop per heroic raid boss, it'll be about 6 years before I see a 385 piece of gloves.
Just wait a couple of weeks. They'll make it available for everyone.
Right, if I wait a couple weeks, it'll just fall from the sky.
And then you can suck someone else's dick.
Right. I mean, that's not a bad thing. But that's pretty much it. There's been a lot of news out this week in the game, guys. We are at about 55 minutes, so we're not going to go in too far deep into stuff. But we are going to do our normal wrap-up. So everybody, let's go ahead, and I'm going to say pick one thing this week that you did in-game that brought you joy. Something that you really thoroughly enjoyed doing this week in-game. Not just I did it, but something that was like the best thing you did all week. And let's start with Candy. He's usually the most positive of all of us.
Well, I think I've already covered it. Was doing the, I bitched about it also, but still doing the Arathi Highlands. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. It just, 1 hour of fun. Mm-hmm. And then I got my, my riding little red dress. That made me happy.
Moving on. Try.
Well, this is going to be boring, but the most enjoyable thing I did was to finish my archaeology, because I was also doing herbing and world quest at the same time, so it wasn't just straight on doing that. And I felt so happy that it was done, that I'll still be doing the little dig sites as I run around anyway.
Oh, that's cute. Great. Harisha.
Oh, easy. I pissed off Rye by getting a damn 375 crit haste item, or 275.
I'm disappointed in you. Wait till you hear mine, and then you'll know why. Lucy.
I got exalted with Honor Bound, finished the Magvar, and I also got exalted with Zandalar Empire, and got the Pterodax mount. So
yay, grats. Mine was that I got to hang out with Harisha and her daughter in real life when they came down to Orlando, Florida.
That was week before last.
Yeah, but we didn't record last week, so
damn it! I would have done that if I knew it was supposed to be previous.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, bitch. That's mine. It's mine now.
You got to watch me put up a tent, heifer.
I got to, not only that, but as a special bonus this week, guys, I'm going to release the video of Harisha putting up the tent.
Did I get the tent put up?
So I took a video of Harisha trying to pitch tent and all of the hilarity that ensued with that.
And you got good beer.
I got good beer. All right, guys, but that is going to be it for this week in the ICBG WoWcast. Look for us on YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play. Please don't forget to subscribe and also comment. Tell your friends. We love you all.
Quick, before we go, hey, if you guys finished the Magvar thing, you did get a little journal in your backpack. Read it. It's really good.
Yay.
There's that. For Harisha, do your mage tower.
Have a lovely evening. Everyone say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Have a great day.
Vote for Candy.
Slot bug for the win.